Here we go. Doing a video. Motivated by. Come on, Andrew, just be yourself. What am I motivated by? It's I got a lot of friends, and I'm thinking a lot these days. I'm thinking a lot. I'm thinking about other people. I'm thinking about the children. I'm thinking about, what's right, what's wrong, what's happening. And at the same time, it's actually really been making me abide and sometimes not think and just trust. And I'm sure most of you are going through similar experience, maybe. Now, I just felt like talking about two different opinions, okay? And I don't have a huge platform. I'm not talking to thousands of people. I'm just talking to my few friends. And I've always been a type that likes to talk to a few friends. Now, I've always been a little bit, if you want to say, fascinated or just curious about how there are two different opinions, like I live in Perth, so there's this thing of, south of Perth is best, north of Perth is best. And, when I first came here, there was, Hungry Jack's, yuck, McDonald's, no, Hungry Jack's is better. They grill the burgers, and couldn't have either of them now. Or, a soccer team, Milan Inter, or the Dockers and Eagles. But what I've also been, or mainly very fascinated, is how you can go to a soccer or a football game and one of the players can actually fail, hurt another player. And let's say there are 50,000 people in the stadium, 25,000 on one side would say, that was foul. And the other 25 would say, no, it wasn't. And you just think, it was pretty plain what happened. How can there be two different opinions? And same is with everything, with many doctrines in the Bible, with many things in life. And I've learned that it is depending, I've learned from someone that it is depending on what kind of glasses you wear. So if your glasses have got a certain filter, and I'm talking about our mind, if our mind has got a certain filter, certain core belief, then it will see things in a certain way, okay? And there are many examples. This is early in the morning, 7:30, 7:08, so I haven't prepared or nothing, but you know what I mean. And same as in the Bible, there was a stage where I saw the Bible very, very condemning, in a sense, where it was just telling me what to do, and that was because my lenses had written do on one and do on the other, and all I saw is do. Whether now I see DONE, I see it all as done. And even if something a little bit, I'm not sure, I just think, well, it can't be against me. If anything, is just encouraging me or rebuking me for comfort, for making things better. So I see it all as from the perspective, from the lens of his love and provision. So how we see things change a lot, okay? Means a lot, it affects us a lot. The way you see a person, you heard certain things about that person. When you see him, you think, yeah, I know him, I can see that he's done this and that, and maybe you're a person that of that person, you've heard good things. So you look at them, you say, oh, you can tell that they're nice people, And that's where hatred comes on, and that's where racism comes on. That's where, different opinion, different things. Now, with what's happening now, of which no one is ignorant, the whole world is in this massive alarm of this, this serious influenza, which seems to affect everybody or hardly anybody, but we know it's way less than 1%, if not a tenth of that, but I'm not minimizing it, okay? I don't want to get into it, but yeah, let that go. But what I want to say is that there are two different opinions now, especially when it comes to how serious it is and whether or not every constitution in the world needs to change to make something a must. Of course you do, rather than your choice. So what I have noticed in this, because I've always noticed the thing about different opinion, is that the main politicians around the world are not bothered about it. It's the small parties that are saying, are you nuts? I've noticed that the main TV media, they're not worried about it, promoting it full on. Take it, you must take it. Yeah, we don't know, consequences, but it's fine, it's science, take it. All around the world, where a lot of the little ones are saying, no, we've seen some issues here. And I'm sad to say this, the mainstream church, it's okay with it. Seems totally okay with it. And that is the most confusing, boggling, don't even know how to say, boggling. I'm still a wog, it's my excuse. That's the most confusing thing I have, is that the main church, it's like, this isn't that, this isn't the number, and and it's totally okay with it. Whether I see a lot of smaller churches, and I'll be honest, not churches, just people that are not even churchgoers, really standing up and say, something's wrong. Something's totally wrong. Or people of all religions. Now, why would that be? Why would that be that there are two massive opinions on something this huge? So, of course, you probably know I'm on one side. I'm on the side of, no, I'm not sure about this at all, okay? Especially when it comes to children, of which have not been affected at all, or hardly nothing. And even those little that something happened, God bless them, I want to hug them and kiss them, and they went to be with God. But the thing is, even that was bad that it happened. But it hardly ever happened anything to little children, and yet they want to inject them, and we do not know of the results. Now, I don't want to get into any realist conspiracy or what is said, done, or what I've seen. It doesn't matter right now, because it's about your opinion. But what I feel to say is this. Even in the book of Acts, the Bereans were said that they were a bit more noble. They were clever. They went and looked at things. They went and test things out. They went to look at the scripture to see if what Paul was saying was just garbage or whether it was true. And they noticed that it was true. And I'm just thinking, what I have noticed with the two opinions, and we're not talking about, Milan, Juventus, or the Eagles and the Dockers. We're talking about here whether to let ourselves or our children take something that normally takes years and years to develop. We should be looking into it and not just looking at the mainstream, not just listening to the... I won't just listen to the mainstream church, okay? Because if I did, I wouldn't have discovered some things that I have, like the finished work of Christ. If I only listen to the main media, I wouldn't discover many things, okay? I'll be thinking that everything is okay in Afghanistan and the America, everything is fine, and I wouldn't even find out that Fauci, the very guy, the guy that from the beginning told us whether to wear a mask, not to wear a mask, these injections are fine, that are safe, it's right now in high court accused of actually having been involved in financially supporting and making this sickness since 2016. This is like he's right now being questioned. The very guy that we listen to, the main guy in America, next to the president, telling, I'm the hugest virologist in the world. He told us what to take, what to do, what not to do, when to do it. He's the one involved in having make this sickness, okay? This is a fact. But you won't find this in the mainstream media. You're gonna have to maybe look at things like DuckDuckGo rather than the usual GEO, search engine. So even me now talking, I gotta be careful. I'm nobody, but I already now cannot share more than one person because they've known that I'm a troublemaker. Now come back to the opinion, because I'm giving my opinion now, and I'm sorry. But one thing that I do see is that those believers or unbelievers that go and protesting, they're against this, that are, conspiracy theorists, they have researched outside of the mainstream, church, media, or, politics. So the least that we can do is to search. And I just feel like a little bit that some people are just afraid to find out the truth. It's like, man, I don't even want to look at that, because what if it's true? Oh man, that would be way too ugly. Well, the truth can be sometimes, hard-hitting, but it is the truth that sets you free. Okay? And some of the attitude is like, come on, the whole world. Well, he's like a roaring lion, not caring who's going to devour. We're talking about the enemy here, okay, without saying his name, the big enemy. Talking about the spiritual big enemy. He doesn't care about our children, about you, about anything. Wow, I am still shocked on how one side is totally getting on with it. All fine, yeah, we took care. Oh, the kids took care. Oh, we all done, I'm gonna try to, just some little info maybe. There are so many alternatives. There are so many different medicines. And some might say, Andrew, are you a virologist? No, but the Bereans were not, doctors of the law either. They researched. And so I can only rely on my discernment, and I can be wrong even in that. Sometimes we want to believe something, and so we can be wrong about it. But what I want to encourage is, do your research, and not in the mainstream, okay? Jesus said, few are those, but many are those that go to destruction. Now, I'm not, saying that he's talking about this. Of course, I'm not saying that. But he does say the many, the majority. So this illusion that we have that is just fine, oh, come on. We've known for years that, the leader of leaders or government leaders have been, crooked and corrupted and all sorts of stuff, and we trust in it. Now, just to give you a little bit of info, okay? I know only because I researched. I barely, I haven't gone to uni. I'm not that clever, but I'm able to research that it takes 8 to 15, 20 years to make the antidote. Can't use the words because, we are heard, although I already said too many. To make the cookie, the antidote, it takes so many years, and it is only legal and considered to be the antidote if you are in an emergency and if there are no other solutions. There are many other cures, many other solutions, and they're all being oppressed. It's like, it's like saying Toyota, not good. You have to buy Ford. You have to buy Kia. Okay? And there are so many solutions, so many medicines in the market that have worked. In India, by the millions are working, but the main media covers that. Okay? This is shocking. Plus, Christians, you don't find a little bit the attitude of the leaders in parliament that are like saying, you're the master taker. Don't you feel like there's something wrong with it? And plus, here I am going to say it, I am so sick of hearing about, do it for others. It's not really an antidote. It does not make you immune to that sickness. Therefore, you pass it to others. You're only protecting yourself. Good on ya. but you're not helping others to stop this thing of believing that it's for the others, because that is making people like me seem the bad ones. I'm actually more safe than somebody who's taking the antidote. Do you know why? Because if I get this sickness, I get sick and I stay home. But if you get it, or somebody that is all for it and took it and got it, sorry if I get personal, but if somebody who has taken it, he doesn't feel sick, he passes it on to the grandma or to anybody. Plus, the same person that has been in, the same guy that invented Windows, you know, he made so much money on antiviruses, and it is to me almost ridiculous not to think that the ones that make antiviruses actually make the virus. And he's involved now in making human antiviruses, or promoting them. So I know very little. In a sense, no, I know a lot, but I'm not very accurate. I don't have the science to back it up, but I can discern what makes sense and doesn't make sense. Against the Bereans were not doctors of the law. They were just mere men and women that wanted to research. So I already said too much, and maybe when I close this thing, I'm going to say, I should have said that. The good news is this, at the same time. In the world you will have trouble, but fear not, for I have overcome the world. That is so beautiful. I feel like, not going to go there, the Egypt thing. God's going to look after us like he looked after, you know, so many people that were whinging for 40 years, but he never let them go without. So he's going to look after us whether we whinge or not. God is with us regardless. We just end up causing ourselves a lot of problems when we whinge and whine and, you know, walk in unbelief. But even then, he's our provider. He will never leave us. You know, I used to believe, you know, God never leaves you, but if you're naughty or if you sin, he'll never leave you. There is no condition to it. If you have believed in Jesus, it's too late. You've actually become one with him in a way that we're going to continue to discover forever. That oneness, to the point that we are the spouse. Now, okay, I transgress, I come back, but this is a beautiful thing. This is a beautiful thing that we are in him. But let me come back and just encourage in this. I understand there are two opinions on everything. And, you know, sometimes when I speak to some main cult streams, I always tell them, you know how I know that you don't have the truth? I say, it's because you all believe the same thing. The main cults, I'm talking about, you know, the big churches that are cults, they all believe the same thing. I'll tell them, you all believe the same thing. You all agree. You all have the same doctrine. You all perfectly believe the same. And I said, that cannot be the truth. Because Paul says that, you know, some will believe this, some will believe that. But let each person be convinced in his own mind. And so there is a freedom into what you believe and a freedom in making mistakes. And that's part of our walk. It's cute. We get to learn things. But be vigilant for the days of evil. You know, watch and pray. Stand up for your freedom. But above all things, I say, seek the truth. Seek the truth. And I'm not saying that I don't have it, but it worries me when I see people not even looking into it. They listen to, again, the mass mainstream and use their words like, oh, conspiracy theorists. I need new conspiracy because most of them are coming real. I am a conspiracy realist. Come on, it is getting personal. But I actually think it is wrong not to suspect things. We are called to discern things. You know, 1 John talks about the spirit of the Antichrist, which it's not a one person. It's actually anything that goes against truth, against him. He says that we have an anointing to discern. That is one of the functions of God within us, that we discern right from wrong. But we need to a little bit want to research. I could be wrong here. And you know what? If I'm wrong, I told a dear person the other day that was telling me, come on, Andrew, maybe, now that, you could lose everything, maybe you... And I said, you know what? If I'm totally wrong, it's fine. People are going to forget. My friends are going to forgive me in a year and a half, year time. They're going to forget about all my silliness. But I hope I'm silly. I'm just not seeing that. All I'm saying is research. Say, God, if this is so, show me. And look at not the mainstream. Look outside. You might not have to listen to the same person, to the same people, to the same leaders, to the same TV programs. Nothing. I just felt like saying this. I could say I love you guys, but I do care for you guys, and I don't even know, who's hearing it or not. It doesn't matter. Just my heart felt like giving this out. Big hug. Love you. Bless you. That's me. Hugs, kiss. Bye-bye.